I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is September 25th, Wednesday, 2024. Hope you had a good day today. So, making the video late, had an appointment, and anyways, beautiful trading day. What did we do? We opened up here, we came back, we mitigated that wick. I knew this wick would be key. Held that support here. By the way, yesterday I meant to say, because I always forget something in the video, but we came right to that, see these two down candles, we came right to the open right there. So boom, we pushed back up. But anyways, we opened up, it came down, London, and then so accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We had a reach, we finally targeted that previous month high that was in question. You know, watch yesterday's video so it makes sense. We were talking about coming up here and then taking it out and then reversing. So here's the thing, because it's what do you call it? Because it's Wednesday. Wednesday has a profile of reversing, but generally speaking, the higher probability is Thursday or Friday, obviously, but preferably Thursday even. But in that case, we did not reverse because this needed to have to keep coming down. But so we tagged that, we retraced back, and see these last two down candles right there, marked out. The hour is beautiful on that, right? Mark that out, boom. And then bought up at the end. We had a 4 o'clock news, which was bullshit. This is to show. I'm going to show you what manual intervention looks like. And then they came back up to wipe out pretty much all these sellers. So do we sell from here or not? Let me just take you right into it. A lot of chart work here today, and let's start with the first trade. So here we when you're here. And the price was up here, right? If you look on the 15-minute, we had the accumulation, we had this manipulation leg down, and in doing so, we did wipe out that liquidity. See these lows right here? See that right there? You can't miss that. So we accomplished some type of liquidity raid, right? We also came into this balanced price range right here. If you see that, you can see we tag right into it, right? So that was also very key here. And then plus, so that going for yourself. And then if you look at if you look at all the imbalances, we pretty much mitigated everything. That was in question, that little candle right there that had no wick. But generally speaking, you see it's pretty clear. It's pretty clean, right? So when, let me transfer to the 1 minute here. When the 9:30 opened up, I was sitting here like, this thing's just about to buy up, right? Because I have a lot of experience, and you'll remember these days, and you'll just be like telling yourself like, yo, this isn't going to retrace back too much. This is definitely going to just push up, and that's exactly what they did. They pushed up, started getting away from me, and I was about to push buy for momentum, but I just decided to just be smooth with it. Price pushed up here to this gap right here. You already know what the levels on my chart. So if someone's asking me, what am I looking at today? Well, I'm already looking for a liquidity raid. So that's the number one. If I'm buying, I'm looking for some type of raid down, right, to take liquidity. So, and then I'm looking for imbalances, but this was all sealed. Everything was pretty much balanced priced. So that being the case, and we're sitting here, I got a support with this last down candle too. If you look at that, see that this down candle right there. So once we have all that, they pushed up. It pushed up here. When I saw this, I did take a little scalp into here, and then from here the price came down deeper, and I was like, okay, got right back to this imbalance right here, and these last two down candles, preferably the last down candle, actually the open of that last down candle. So we had that here, beautiful buy. It came down twice, and I was like, okay, but I've seen this plenty of times. This is the beginning of a sell model. So you have an accumulation or a consolidation here. You had two ways to look at this price action. Was this the accumulation of a consolidation and then a push up as a shift and retrace back to it to then start the model? Possibly here, or you could have even said it was here in this area here. So what that means is that once we got in here, you could see no bodies underneath. And to answer the question yesterday of, well, I want to get into, I don't want to push the button right when it gets into the imbalance. I want to push it at 50%. I said you might lose trades. But then I also said that, if you want to do that, you can. If you want to look for reactions, you can. But sometimes it'll seal it, right? So I manually do it. Like, it came down here and then it pushed down again. I was trying to see if it was going to raid here. But when I had two rejections here, the first one and then the second one came down, I immediately pushed the button, right? And it worked out beautifully. Where am I taking it to? Obviously, we're taking it to that month high that we discussed. Right, because that was in the cards. That was plus you have the high of Tuesday, right? So, anyways, and as you expect, if you're trying to raid all this liquidity plus the people here, I mentioned yesterday, you want to see big candles start coming in. Well, we started getting that in the expansion here, right? Especially you can see on the 15-minute, but. So back to here. So you can see we retrace, we push up. So right here, this little U right here, that's a balanced price range as well, right? Because we went up, we went down, and then we went up again. So from here, you don't need to see the price come back. Now, where could you have got if you didn't get in here? Well, you also can get through momentum of closing above here. You also have this first imbalance of the day. Has to be after 9:30. This one in green. I'm going to be marking them in green just so they can differentiate the difference. But you can see that we came right back into it, right? And we're hitting the top of the. Well, I mean, I could do a number of ways. I could just call this a inversion imbalance right there. You can see we tap in there, but this we're protected, right? And then when we come down, we don't break these candles right here, these lows. So. And we're respecting 50% again. So if you want to limit order, go ahead. But I mean, you might get a better fill lower. As you see, I did, right? So if I would have been mad if I got filled in here. So I manually do it. So there goes that. But anyways, what we do, we push up, right? We push up, we retrace back into this imbalance. So it's a reclaimed imbalance right there, right? So we can still reuse them. And you can see it's kind of protected there. And so on, and then we start pushing up, empty gap here, pushed up, this imbalance here, you can see we're digging into it. Here's a prime example. It does peak below 50%. It's also hitting these last two down candles. I'm gonna draw a line right there, type of thing, right? And it's on the top of this gap that's in the background. Now the gaps are a background overlay, so I'm gonna when I show you the sell, it's a lot to it. So, but if I took that away, you remember also that the gaps are in the background. So I'll explain in a second. So what do? We purge here. We take the first purge there, and then I wait for another purge up, right? So end up screenshotting here because I want to be careful. I got fucking screwed on the sell, which I'll show you in a second. But so anyways, and then we pop up a little bit higher. So beautiful there. And let's get to the sell. Fucking fire. So here. So once we push up here, all right, we push up and we reject. All right, right here I take a loss. I do take this. I'm just kind of impatient, and I just take it because I know we're coming back down. I know it's a sell model. I know that this accumulation right here was a sell model where we're going to come back out. We're going to come back down and wipe that liquidity. So we do that, and I'm clearly highlighting it. Why am I highlighting this and this? Because this is the number one target for the sell model. Because is this the original consolidation here, or is this the consolidation here? Why I say that? Because when we pushed up, we came back. So that could be a consolidation, up, down, up, right? And then what do? We bust through it right here with this candle right here. We bust through it and come back in, and some will say that might be a return back into it as a shift. And that's the origin of the sell model. So here, I'm also looking at it right here because this is a very high probability area as well for the liquidity, because this was the last place you could get in if you didn't get in through this momentum here. So saying all that to say this, that these are my targets. Target 1, target 2. I was very confident in coming into this, but look how they did it though. Fucking dirty. So anyways, I take a loss here. This spikes up. I'm waiting for 3 drives. So I get that. Look at the wicks. 1, 2, 3. Soon as this third one takes out that wick, I push it. Literally. I mean, and this is like, you shouldn't be trading like this. This is someone with experience. So I'm able to do this. I'm not saying you can't, but if you don't feel comfortable, what you should wait for is that first imbalance. So I've already got it highlighted right there. So we get that imbalance, we pop right back up into it. That's your button right there. So that's a push button right there. So anyways, we're also at 50% of, remember, there's a gap back here. So we went through these 3 gaps and I'm expecting it to hold. On higher time frames, if you look at the 4 hour, you can see the 15 minute even. The 15 minute, look at the body right there. The bodies are inside the gap, underneath the gap. The 1 minute, you're going to see the wicks and you're going to see the wick of the 15 minute. And I understood that, right? So that's another logical reason of why I'm hitting sell here. And then anyways, we get that first push down. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this simple, but basically I'm marking all the imbalances that are bullish. I'm marking them out to use them as future resistance. Like they're literally marked out before I even got down here, just to give you the understanding. So I'm looking for that in a sell model, right? So, and then I also have the bearish ones on the right side of the curve. I want to see what respects and holds that, because some are going to work and some are not. And it's that simple. So let's take a look. So we push up and then we come back. We got another imbalance here. This becomes a control and price. This candle right here. These candles, these up candles right there. And then you see we're tagging in it, right? So then we got that imbalance right there. I'm not going to, I guess I can go to it, but you can see which one's on your chart, right? It's a 1 minute chart. But so we tag in and we've bumped underneath the high of the previous month. So that right there is, you see that right there? So we're bumping against that. Then we get a push down. Now watch this flow. Lower low, lower high. I'm going to explain. Oh, we'll go to it. Let me just go to it. So this will make sense of how I saw the structure too. And you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't make sense. I should do it at the end too, but to be honest, let's just do it this way. So lower low, lower high. We push down. We come back up, right? We come back up. And I'm looking at this imbalance right here, this 1029. This is very influential for the rest of the day. This becomes a control of price as well. So yes, they're outside the lines and all that, but the bodies are all respecting. You see, we tag in right there twice, right? And then we come below, then we come above, right? And then you see stop at a dime right there on the head. And that's what I want to see. Like if it's going any higher than this and we break that high, for example, I'm out to trade. Like it's not panning out, literally. So I'll explain to you what my thought process was as well. But I was very confident in this. So take a look. This video's fire. Trust me. And then we push up and then we push back down. We're sitting in this imbalance right here, but I'm not using it yet. My bias was coming back down. So I'm not looking for this to be bullish. Or can I catch a trade from these areas? Yeah, I mean, sure you could, but that's not what we were doing. So anyways, we push back down. All right, we come back. I know there's a lot to go here. Let me just be patient with me. I'm going to try to be patient too here, but we push back up. Remember, just remember the inversion imbalances here. These light blue ones, all right? Because it's very key in the future price. But on the right side, I'm also using the bearish imbalances as well, right? So I don't have any lines drawn for the blocks, but just follow me here. So we push back up here. We get into this imbalance. We tag underneath it, but we're working this area. This candle is getting worked. And it was freaking me out a little bit because this is also a balanced price range. We went down, we went up, and then we went back down. So this is all time distortion. Like if I was to button up this low to this low, it would have just been a straight shot down. All this shit in the middle was to not get you in the trade, to squeeze you out from selling, also to build liquidity. So anyways, we come back up and you see this was the last line of defense for me. I mean, you could not be going up. You can't break that high, period, because that low makes that low here, right? You're like, oh, well, which one is it? This is a shift. No, this is a leg in itself down. Let me just do that now, because I know this was, I was kind of going through it too, but let me just do it this way. Should have made it red. I'll change the color in a second. This is how I saw it. So let me draw it first, and then you'll get the point. All right, let's do it this way. Keep in mind here, that's the protective high, because we never break this low. All this shit in between is garbage. And some will say this was the shift there, but this is what it ended up doing. Let's just leave it at that for a second. Let me change the color. So if you take a look, you can see that, right? All right, you see that? So that flow is there. But here was dirty, because you needed them to take that low to make another lower low, but we never got that. We got these bullshit ass wicks, and they were fucking fronting. They were doing this to try to be fair, and then also build an accumulation of buying. So that means that today it wasn't the day to reverse. So it's probably going to happen tomorrow. So, but as you see, let me delete this for a second, just so you can understand. So that high, what's it called? This high right here was protected. This high made this low. And then as you see, look what 4 o'clock did. Let me tell you something. The guy, we have news at 4 o'clock, and the guy's just talking. Like, no one even started talking yet. All right. And this candle shoots up like that. This is this is manual intervention right here at its finest. Like, it didn't even wait. It just blew up. Right. So they broke that high. Right. So there's the sign, obviously, that now you could say that now this right here just push up higher and this retrace back. So if it doesn't break this high, that's still a lower high, and then that would still can be considered a lower high. It's not really a shift here, but when you get that high and you retrace back that deep and then you push back up, that could be the shift, right? But I just wanted to go over that real quick, but I wasn't worried about the rest. So here, now that I've mentioned all that, you're like, well, so you get three key levels before it's probably not going to pan out for you, right? So for example, you're going to say, well, what about this? This was 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, we pushed up, right? And there was 4 levels, but this was like the master level. This was the control level right here. So this was the protective high at the time. So it has all right to come back up here. And that's what I was explaining back down here. So it has all right to come up here, but it can't go any higher than this. Otherwise, we have a shift and it's completely going somewhere else. Most likely, obviously, up. But that's the logic here. So it blew through these 3. So that imbalance, that imbalance, that imbalance. But this imbalance, these 2 candles with the gap in the middle, can be considered one. On another, if I put a 2-minute time frame, this is probably just one big imbalance, right? So, and that's why I'm counting this as number 3. This is number 2, and that's number 1. So that's okay. That's fine. But now you know, like, this is what your last resort is, right? Could you have caught trades back up to these levels? Yeah, sure you could. But take a look. Oh, I didn't drag these out. Oh, yeah, I didn't need to. It blew through. So when this came down here, right? We came down, then we respected back that imbalance. Even though it blew through it, it's a reclaimed imbalance, right? Bearish imbalance. And you can also say, okay, well, this candle right here, this bullish candle, this was also an inversion. And yes, you could have done that. I couldn't draw everything. I don't ever draw all this, but I was using it because this was not easy, and it took fucking forever. But anyways, you can see that it's respecting there. You also had a balance in there. So these are the areas that you're looking for. Now, when they overlap, that's also very strong too, which I'm going to show you in this bullish imbalance that turned inversion right here. See this? So you can see when we came down, we made the low, we tagged it. We came a low again. We swept that. We now swept this. So that was key, right? And then we hit a -1 and -half to 1.5. And then we retraced back pretty deep, but this was the lower high. This is the lower low, not that. You're not counting that. It's too myopic. So this level came back. I didn't want to see it. We tagged, by the way, we tagged that gap. I didn't want to see it come above here. And on a 5-minute, you won't see you won't see the bodies there. Like it'll be lower. But here on the 1 minute, like you can see you can see all the bodies respecting too. So we have that inversion, and we have the inversion balance here. Plus we have this imbalance right here, and I got it dragged out, and they're both laying on each other. So that's a strong area, right? And sure enough, beautiful. Popped it. Look at the bottom of that gap, coming right back. I can explain even more detail, but I'm not even going to do that. This is way more than enough. And then you can see it respected here, started trickling down here, and then the time kicks in. Then we have that 1250 to 110 macro, and then you can see that we pop down, we pop back up into this imbalance with that gap. We never break that high of that swing, right? So that stops right there. Yes, it's outside the lines, but this is just the narrative. And then it's not perfect, right? But it's beautiful, fucking beautiful, to be honest. You should screenshot this, study this, like for real. Like, you know, that's why I drew all this, so you could do that. And then even if I drag this out, which let me go to it. If I dragged this imbalance here, pertaining to just this price action here. Well, actually, so let me back it up real quick. Right there. Let me zoom out. There you go. So here you can see dragging that imbalance, because this imbalance is what pushed up to break that high. So very key, and it's pretty much buyer's remorse also. So and then when we tag in, so this is why I don't want to do this. When we tag in, you can see just these candles. Look at this 12, 56, 57, and 58. You could see right there. See that? See how it's like stopped right there, right? And it just flew. Also with that gap, there's a little gap in between 1250 and 1251. See that gap? So look at the bodies underneath that gap. See that? So beautiful. I mean, dude, you got to pay attention to every candle. I mean, I'm going through damn near all of it, but this has got to be helpful. Got to be. So, anyways, let me go back to this. Man, listen, this is why I don't want to fucking screenshot, bro. So this thing, so 1 o'clock came out, right, and shot this bitch down. And I was like, literally like waiting for this. I was waiting to get down here, but I didn't expect it to happen that fast at 1 o'clock. And sometimes you'll get a big price action at 1:30, and then the 150 to 210. You'll get those big moves out of nowhere. And then sure enough, this was crazy pushed down. I was like, oh shit. So by the time it's coming down here, I'm literally holding shift command and 3 to, I'm ready for it. I'm waiting for it. I mean, I have to be able to screenshot it and get out. And this is what I get for not putting a fucking, putting a limit order here to get out. I do this because so I'm able to take the shot and be comfortable. But so what did this end up doing to me is it wicked fucking hard, and it came and snapped all the way back here. I was like, damn, bro. And I ended up literally closing right when that closed, this candle, because I was afraid that the sell model was finished, and I was right. We ended up coming back down a little bit. That's fine. We used it as resistance, and we popped up and we came back. So I had an opportunity to get lower to get out, but because of this, I was afraid that it was just going to start shooting the hell up, and there's no way I could have caught it. So I wasn't. I was done for the day. This took forever. I didn't even want to be involved, but I was 1,000% sure. Now, if I was to have pushed through this, which I was hoping for, I was going to try to aim for this, because that would have been a reversal profile where we come down, we accumulate, we push up, and then we reverse and we close below. So I was looking for a speaker. So the buying up was a part of the speaker, and then coming back down was, well, remember, the speaker, you could end up buying at the inside of the range from here to here. Where below 50% is definitely probably, it might even be at a 61. I don't know, probably, maybe not. Let me see. I didn't measure it. I didn't need to, but I'm just curious now. Yeah. Yeah, it was a 61. And look at that. 61. Bam. See that? So when I got the wick here, that was a huge sign of that. That was a big red flag that we're not going to be pushing down. So I was like, all right, whatever. But I was pissed that I didn't get this. I didn't close out here. So what I should have did was just put a fill. But then if I did that, you wouldn't have seen the trade. You wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. I really want to trade in peace. I don't want to be doing this. And you know what? I was, talking to some other traders, and I was like, I think I'm hurting people more than even helping with showing the trades. Like some of you are probably like, man, this is why can't I do this? Or maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm just talking. But you might be like, man, I don't want to see these trades. I'm tired of seeing it. Maybe that's why people don't follow me too, because they can't. I don't know. Whatever the case is. So I don't know if it's helping or not. If it deep down, is it hurting you? Maybe, I don't know. But I could see how it could. I remember when I first started, and I was watching people win constantly. I was like, man, fuck this, and I was like, not able to do it, and but then again, I still wanted to see it. So it's a balance of that. So anyways, we'll see what I do from here. But I mean, this pissed me off. I'm gonna be real with you. This pissed me off. This was like almost $2,000 just in a loss. Not a loss, but of not capitalizing because I'm trying to fucking screenshot it. Which I want to screenshot my trades, but like this was fucking dirty, man. It pissed me off. Anyways, that being the case, and then some will say that might be a shift, and it traditionally is, especially with a wick like this coming back. And I was like, I was done. I had an appointment, and anyways, look what they did at 4:00. Look at this, 4:01. Bink. Like, come on. The guy hasn't even talked, bro. Like, what is the market doing when the guy hasn't even talked yet? Like, it's so. Anyways, it's all good. Came right back. Look. We're laying on that high. So, is this the sell here? This could be the sell. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Yesterday, I was very clear about telling you that I was like, if I was to make the market, watch yesterday's video so it makes sense. I said, if I was the market, I would come and take out this high right here and then sell off. Well, it sold off, but it didn't take out that high. So what did this high and this high do? It created liquidity. I was very clear about that, and it didn't take it out. So when I started my day, I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, we're pushing up like 100%. So that's that. And now we're laying on that line. So let me move forward. This is probably overkill now. 27 minutes. So here, also we had a nice blessing with when I took the sell. Well, also when I took the buy. With this buy here, we had higher lows. So Nas was beautiful compared to everybody else, in my opinion. Higher lows here with Nas, and then we had lower lows here, and then I ended up taking the buy right there. So split decision, but I have multiple screens, so I was able to make that decision. I wouldn't have been able to make that decision if I didn't have that, probably. But I noticed that they all took them out, and it was clear that we didn't. So, and then when we were up here, we had lower highs here with Dow, and then at the top here, that's how I got to the top of that tick when I sold it. Beast shit. I'm very proud of myself, man. But I took a couple losses trying to catch it, but I knew exactly what was going on. And again, here's a nice characteristic. Look at the wick. Look at those 3 wicks told the whole story right there. See that? So and we do these videos because you're gonna remember this one day. I promise you're gonna remember this situation one day. So so that's that. Plus the other confluence, dollar was shooting up hard, so that was nice. I'm talking about for the sell originally. So there's that. So hopefully they're assuming that they're finding a support here. That they were talking about possible big war in the Middle East and all that, and I'm like, yeah, duh. But that's good for the American dollar because they like to sell weapons. So that's off the record. But so you could start to see dollar rebound, right? There's that. And then look at Dow, hard, come down, all that liquidity. So it looks like they're at the top of a mountain here. Probably retracing back. We'll see what we're supposed to get, that 15-year seasonality still, right? I'm still looking for a big sell-off, right? And I think we're getting it tomorrow. To be honest with you, I think we're getting it tomorrow. But what am I skipping over? Sorry. So and then kind of petering out, but it's not over yet. I think they're saving it for tomorrow. To be honest with you. And then let's look here. Yeah, look at that shit. So I was actually hoping for this technically, but I knew Nas was the leader because we also had Nvidia pushing up very hard. Look at that right there. Let me take a look at Apple real quick. I'm pretty sure they kind of rebounded a little bit, but this was key here. This was super key. This is also what had me pushing up. And then this was also when we got to the high right here. That's when I sold. And when we sold, we came back down. So this ended up, I would want to see the Nvidia keep coming down. It didn't do that. So it stopped here and then it pushed up, and then that's how we got, technically, that's how we got this last push up here. So what do we do from here? You already know the demo here. This logic is still in the cards, but we're just probably expecting this to happen tomorrow. I'm assuming. I know it's a rate cut, de-inflation moment for September, so I don't see them keep pushing up right now. I'd like to see them back off to come down to here, at least to the open. The 30 year shows that we come to the open, but yeah, man, I gotta be done. I didn't mean to make a fucking 40-minute video yesterday, but I don't know what else I could tell you. But I think I've said enough here, right? I don't want to make it long. And I think we have Powell talking to on the other day too, so that might be the nice like sell off that we get. So again, I'm looking for sells. If it doesn't happen from here, then we might get one more rate up, and I'm looking for a sell there probably. We'll see, depending on how the strength goes up. Oh, and also real quick before I go, we got to pump first. So we got to pump first, pump, then dump, right? So that's what I'm looking for. The other day I was looking for a dump, then pump. So right here, pump, then dump, then pump again, right? So that's very helpful in framing the day. I mean, I'm looking for 2 good moves in a day, sometimes 3, minimum 1, max 3, right? So 1, 2, look at how he pushed up. So pump, dump, right? That's how I looked at it. And then, or buy, sell, buy, little sequence there. So you guys take care and God bless.